Import your video into Final Cut and start editing your bridge assignment. So as the 8th graders have recorded their bridges breaking, I will give you the SD card, and we'll put it in a SD card reader and plug it into whatever computer you're currently working on. Now, how we use that, we take that card reader, plug it in, and we will come in and open up Final Cut. And I already have Final Cut open, so it loads a little quicker. When you first click on Final Cut, it'll take a moment for this to load up and open the Final Cut window. But now that we have Final Cut open, a few things that you'll see. And this is similar to iMovie, which you've used in the past. Along the bottom here is your timeline. This is where your video project will be. This is the workspace you'll have. Your video should be dropped into this darker gray area. This is your timeline. Anything that's above or below would be considered an attached clip, which may cause us problems. Everything we do should be dropped into this gray area, the dark gray area. Now, what we want to do is get the video into Final Cut. So what we'll do is click on the camera right here. And all the bridges that are currently on the card should show up. By default, it should recognize your card as that it came from a camera and start looking for these video files. Right at the end of these video files is where you should see your bridge breaking. Ideally, as soon as the bridge broke and stopped moving, we stopped recording. So therefore, the very end of your video is a good place that you want to be capturing the breaking of your bridge. So all we really need to do is click on this video clip and just select the portion where your bridge is actually changing and breaking. So I'm going to select just the last chunk of video. You can actually see that this is close to 8 minutes long, and we don't need to select all that and capture all of it. So once that's selected and this is your bridge, bring it in. If you can't identify your bridge, take a look and see if you can note one of the more identifiable bridges that went before or after you, so you can find which bridge is yours, because there may be several bridges on your card. So next thing, I'm going to click Import Selected, now that I have my small chunk of video selected to import. And because I already have a bridge project, I would add this to an existing, but instead of doing that, you're going to need to hit Create New Event and title this Bridge. So you know your bridge video is going to your bridge event, and you can find it later. All these boxes, none of them need to be checked because we have your camera set up on a tripod, which is nice and stable, it's not shaky. And also the color and everything should be good because we have good lighting on it. So I'm not too worried about checking any of these, which would help fix some video problems you may have. So don't worry about that. Just title it Bridge as your new project and click Import. When you do this, it will send the video into Final Cut so you can work on it. I'm not going to do that because I already have enough video for you. So I'm going to hit Cancel and close out of this window and show you that when I come back to my bridge project, and this is where your bridge project will pop up under the Media HD in the upper left-hand corner. If you do not see that, you can click this little button here, which hides that little bit of your computer hard drive space and where your videos are saved. So this video project, this bridge video project, you can see I actually have a whole bunch of different videos on here of bridges from last quarter. So again, there's a lot of information. When you want to go to deal with this and work with it and select that little portion of the bridge actually breaking, and you can see in this case I got this one little chunk of video I want to work with, by default your video may be set to all on this scroll bar, which means it's really hard to see and select what you want to select. So what I would do is I really recommend you scroll this over, so it's going to give you your video in like 5-second chunks, which would allow you to now come back here, and each one of these little pictures, it looks like, is about 5 seconds of video, and it basically just zooms in on the video that you have currently selected. So I can see that right about here is where the bridge begins to break. So I'm going to click there, and if I want to start my video there, because that's where it should start, that's where it begins to break, I'm going to hit the I key on my keyboard, and it's for in mark. It's going to bring your playhead here, or you can grab the handles and scrub back and forth and make your clip a little bit longer or a little bit shorter by grabbing the handles. So I want to scrub in until I see this bridge just finished breaking. So that's the very end of the breaking point. So I got this little chunk of video. Now that I have this selected, I can grab it and pull the whole thing down to my project. All right. Now, again, this clip may look very small depending on how this scroll bar is set up. So you can make your video project look different sizes. I would recommend you zoom in a little bit so you can actually see what your video project is going to look like. And it looks like I might have changed the settings here. Yeah, I currently have my other appearance for this video clip set to where I see mostly audio. I don't see any video. I'm just going to click this one here so I can see some. And what you'll get here is you can see how my bridge starts out in this first frame full size and not breaking, and you can see how it begins to break here. And then as the pieces fall and settle, how the bridge eventually lays flat at the end, because I'm zoomed in on this. Another quick way to zoom in is hit Shift-Z, and it will just automatically take whatever clip you're working on, the clips you're working on, and fill up the whole timeline with it. Or you can zoom in and out on it using the scroll bar down here as well. But right now I just got the video into Final Cut. I've dropped the selected portion, that tiny little bit that we need, and I brought it down to my timeline from which you can work. My project is titled Bridge. Yours may not be titled Bridge. So if you want to title that, you need to hit this back arrow of this canister back arrow here and come in here, and you'll be able to see your project. I have multiple projects here, but if you see your project and click on the name, you can retitle it here. That's the easiest way to retitle your project. It might have some default new project title when you first get started, but if you want to go back to your video, then you just double click on it, and now here's your video project for you to edit. I will have an additional video for you to watch on how to edit this video now that it's in your computer.